here.
Oh, well, they printed them out anyways. All right, it's 6:02. We will call this meeting to order, the Central Region Town Hall. Roll call
Member Schwenger,
here.
Member Pratt,
Here.
Member Pearson, I'm here, Member Carlson,
Here.
and Member Martinez.
Here.
All right. Okay, so do you have people on Zoom?
We do not.
Okay, just wanted to check. Okay, all right, so item number 2, we already did call to order, so item number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the logistics of the Community Cleanup Day in Lucerne. So I think we were going to discuss, if there was anybody that had pickups or trailers that maybe could help people that were homebound or didn't have the means to get some of their trash down to the castle. And it's the Clash Against Trash, so it's Saturday, June 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's at 3700 Country Club Drive here in Lucerne. And it says in front of the castle to the field on the left. All right. Does anybody have anybody offering any help? You got anything on that?
I can add to it. I confirmed with the folks from the castle that it's open for us to use that day. Michelle Goodman from Lake County Waste Solutions is good to go. I sent this flyer. She said it's good to go. It's the same flyer if you've noticed from last year. The only thing that's changed is the dates, and you guys have your logo on there. So, but yeah, no, it's, we did talk about possibly. I know that I'll have a trailer. I'll have a trailer so that I can drive around. I know that there's some folks that talked to Charlie about needing some garbage picked up and whatnot because they're elderly. And so I asked him to email. There's an email on here, and there's my my work cell. So if they can email, text, or call, and that way I can know where and what, and whoever comes with the trailers and the trucks or whatever, we can dole out who's going to get what. We can find out what's if it's a big enough garbage site that or home that has a lot of garbage, we have to use a trailer, or if we have to use a truck. So in the meantime, if you know anybody that wants to get a pickup because they can't bring it themselves, have them text or call or email me, and we can have a list going on that. Or take their name down and,
All right, thank you. Sounds good.
Yeah, so it'll be just like last year, except for we'll get the word out, so we'll get more people and try to get more. What'll happen is last year they left kind of early. It was like 12:30, but they left because they didn't make a trip. They're willing to make a trip during, so like let's say that at 11 they have it full. They'll take a trip, load a couple of the garbage bins, and then when they get back, then they'll start loading them up. So they can make a trip and come back if that makes sense. Yeah, so that way it doesn't full up and say, oh, you're done, let's leave,
Okay.
So yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Anybody else?
I had a question on, this is just all Lucerne residents, right? No other outside from Nice or any other place can bring trash, or is it just Lucerne
It was sent
residents?
to the Lucerne residents, yeah.
But can any other people bring
I
trash?
think last year
in,
no
or-
one was necessarily turned away,
Okay.
per se.
Yeah,
But
do you need to provide like a address or anything there? Just
they didn't do it last year, so I don't think they're, yeah. So,
All right.
yeah, we just took the garbage, or they just took the garbage and ran them through, so.
Did you mail these to?
Yes. They said they should have sent them out Friday. I have I sent them this, so they're gonna be sending this, I forgot what it was. It wasn't bulk because that would have taken too long, so I did the other. I think it was first class or something like that. That way it should be out Tuesday or Wednesday, so people should know like a day ahead of time. And so if we can get these posted in town, I'm gonna mention it or announce it at the Board of Supervisors meeting during my calendar, and then we'll post it on, our page and all that stuff, so, yeah.
All right, thank you. You know,
Also on the bulk items, does that include like fridges and stuff like that? Because I see it says couches, mattresses, et cetera. What would the et cetera kind of play into?
Do you remember
they-
last year if they were taking like, I thought they
Appliances?
took like some dryers and stuff. I remember that.
If I were to guess, honestly, in my experience with refrigerators, there is a charge per unit for that because there is refrigerant often left in the unit.
Okay.
Which has to be dealt with through regulations, right? So
Yeah.
generally that is turned away, but I have seen many other appliances accepted at these before.
Yeah, I think washers and dryers are okay because they're considered bulky, but the refrigerators, yeah, that makes sense. I remember that now. Yeah, because I remember someone had like 3 washers and dryers, and we were like, I don't think you can bring it. And then when the garbage, the head guy was like, no, it's a bulky item, you're good. So, yeah.
Awesome.
No, but good questions. We got to identify that, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But the refrigerators and stuff, anything else that's big and bulky, you get 2 a year. So like if you have garbage service, you could put it out, you just gotta let them know. You gotta call the number and say, hey, I got a bed that I'm putting out there or whatever, and they'll take it, but you can only do 2 a year.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What they're asking is anyone that wants to talk, come to the microphone, say your name. But I'll say, Greg Bianchini said a lot of people don't know that they have 2 a year to do that. So, yeah, so if anyone wants to talk, just come up, say your name for the record, and then.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 3, discussion and possible action, including acceptance of an update from Supervisor Crandall.
So of course, this is happening Saturday. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, the National Monument, we went to the Cache Creek, so C.R.T.H tribe invited Senator Padilla, Congressman Thompson, Congressman Garamendi, Cecilia Aguilar Curry, Senator McGuire, but he wasn't there. Staff was there instead, so staff was there also for Garamendi. They signed the document to extend the Berryessa Snow Mountain Monument, and they call it Condor Ridge, which translates into Moloch Loyuk for the Yocha tribe and the Quetzal tribe. So it's a Patwin tribe, right? Patwins.
Patwin.
And so that's the language they speak. That's what is called Condor Ridge. So they signed that, and it's into effect now. It's a co-management, one of the first co-managements that are in existence when it comes to that. So that was done. Let's see, budgets are coming up, not this week, what's this week? No, it's next week. So the budgets are on the 21st and 22nd, or 20th and 21st. So when that comes out on the agenda, make sure if there's a budgetary item, what the things are important to you. For example, if the roads are important during the public works portion, make sure you listen in, or if you're there, go in and make your comments about the roads, et cetera, bridges, structures that Public Works is in charge of. Same with water resources. During theirs, make your comments. It helps for the board to hear the comments and ask if they can make changes, et cetera. Same with the special projects is where the harbor's at, so that's where actually Public Services gives their report. There will be a report tomorrow with Public Services. It was on consent. I will be pulling it, and it has to do with the dredging of the harbor. It's going out for bid. There's nothing attached to it right now because I think it's just going out for bid. Either way, I wanted to make sure that Lars gave the report so that everybody can be a part of it, call in, or even be there. Because I know it's going to be pulled anyhow by somebody. I mean, it's sitting there, so, and it's been an issue for Lucerne for a while. So I know that's on there tomorrow as well. Let's see, in the past month.
The funds are still encumbered for
Yes.
the dredging, right?
It's still there. Everything's still there. Nothing's changed. I think they added an extra 50,000 during a time, so it went from 300 to 350,000. So yeah, it's there. Yeah, so there shouldn't be anything stopping it. Yeah, that's what I have for now. Since last meeting, I don't know if we were gonna hire some positions. Well, we have. So we have a new Public Works Director. He started, I think he starts July 6th. So that's Glenn March. We have a new Social Services Director, and she's promoted within. That's Rachel Dillman Parsons. And then there is a new, so we have Water Resources there hasn't been a hire yet, but there is, I said Public Works, there is, what is the other position? I can't think of it. But there is another hire, I know for sure. Oh, Special Districts. Special Districts has taken the hire, and she is from the area. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but she accepted as well. So these are all new positions that are going to help, not just help, but they're like Water Resources and Public Works is now split. So there's not one director for two. There's two directors. And so whereas before there was one guy in charge of 2 to 3 things. So that won't be in existence no more. The lay picks, we just found out you're on the list. You got yours turned in. They have it kind of like where people that submit are submitting it through microfiche or laserfish, and then they're having a hard time determining, but they found them. So that'll be coming up. I want to say, I don't think they meet until August. So yeah. So that's what I have for now. If you have any questions.
Does the docks on the lake fall under DWR?
Yes. Well, no, it would fall. The docks would fall under Department of Water Resources. Yes.
Okay.
That would be a good one during the budgets too, to say, hey, we also have that project from Blue Ribbon Committee that would have been, right? So there is something from Golden State Finance, and I'm getting, I know that I'm getting some information about it, but I'll just say it in concept. There was some funding that was moved over for homes for people that have been affected by fires. And I want to say it was during the time of 18, 17, those years. And so it's going to be like a specific loan for victims that have been in those types of situations. So be looking out for that to come out. We'll probably do a presentation and ask them to come forward. Golden State Finance Authority. I'm on that board with RCRC. It's one of their actual JPAs. So you've heard of it before? Yeah, so that should be coming out too. And that'll be good for folks that, need help. So I just found out about that last month.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions for Supervisor Crandall? All right. Then moving, anybody on Zoom? Okay. All right, then item number 5, public comment. We do have an email public comment. Do you have yours pulled up? I just have to get to it.
It's the one from Betsy.
Yes. If you have it, can you? It's very long. Is it? No, well, it's not longer than 3 minutes though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, we have some email correspondence from Betsy Kahn, and it says, Dear CERTH board members and Supervisor Crandall, on Monday, June 3rd, the Board of Directors of the East Region Town Hall approved a letter to the Community Development Director requesting that the communities of Clear Lake Oaks and its surrounding rural sectors be given the option of creating a standalone local area plan with its own local area plan advisory committee. Their letter is attached for your consideration. While Lucerne and Clear Lake Oaks share some of the same complex problems, such as highway-bound transportation corridors, especially important for emergency evacuation or response services, each has its own unique public facilities and locations where public access are quickly available. Very different features of commercial growth targets for both new housing and enterprises include Lucerne's portals to the Mendocino National Forest and the gateway to the Snow Mountain Berryessa National Monument, and a soon-to-be restored recreational center, the Harbor. Lucerne's historic buildings include the former hotel and its 94-year-old Alpine Senior Center, provide locations for creation of community resilience center operations, where projects for wildfire risk reduction and short-term emergency management operations can be established under new state and local programs. Lucerne is also home to the county's Behavioral Health Services Department headquarters on 13th Avenue, where the previous area plan designated the whole length of the largely residential street as multi-use, two-story, first-floor retail, and second-story apartment buildings. Is that still a valid approach to creating a downtown center for the town? The Lucerne Elementary School is a hub of activity for children and families and is active in supporting disaster preparedness, collaborating with the North Shore Fire Protection District and small businesses in the area. Cal Water Services, provider of critical lifeline water supplies for both ordinary human uses and firefighting, has conducted 3 annual preparedness conferences with a panoply of emergency response agencies and activist members of the public in attendance. The North Shore Fire Protection District headquarters are located on 7th Avenue, as is the North Shore's only law enforcement substation, where the county's new roadmap task force is planning to set up shop to abate the large number of abandoned houses that are occupied by squatters and/or drug operations. The Community Development Director, Maria Turner, has met with all the municipal advisory councils in the county, telling each that the communities themselves are going to be the source of local planning. Tell us what you want is what she has said to all, and now is your opportunity to do just that. It may be too soon for tonight's CERT board to create a plan for writing to CDD, but there are many great citizens in Lucerne who can help shape the county's plan for your future. I will support the documentation needs with excerpts from the Shoreline Communities Area Plan, the county's Hazard Mitigation Plan, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, and the very outdated North Shore Redevelopment Plan, to the best of my abilities, and thank you for considering this opportunity to provide leadership in our beloved Lucerne. Respectfully yours, Betsy Kahn, the Essential Public Information Center, Upper Lake, California. Okay, is there any other public comment? Go ahead. Yes, if you wouldn't mind going to the microphone and introducing yourself and where you, not your address, but just where you're from.
My name's Leilani Schwartz, and I reside in, I guess, Riviera 2, at the very end. And I've got a real concern about fires. I've been through them myself, and I know the county has certainly had their fair share. My understanding is that at one time, the fire department would go around and give notification for properties that needed to be cleaned up to help in prevention. And after a couple of years of seeing properties not being cleaned up, I went to the fire department, and they said that was no longer under their purview, that had been turned over to code enforcement. And obviously, code enforcement isn't doing anything. Is there any plan at all or any way of having somebody just drive through and look at these properties and then ask that they be cleaned up to mitigate fire danger? When we live in such close quarters with each other, one major fire could take out a whole block. And especially when you've got these pockets of fuel sitting, you know, in the midst of it all. So I just don't know if there is something already in place or if there is nothing in place and ergo nothing gets done.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Okay.
What you can do is, it is code enforcement, they're supposed to. There's either an online reporting system or calling them. You've tried all that?
Yeah.
They haven't done anything?
Nothing.
Never went out?
No.
Okay, because that's,
I've even drawn up maps of, I walk every morning, and so we do Riviera 2, Riviera 1, back and forth, do a bunch of loops. And I've designated particularly properties along Rosemont, Alta Vista, and it's not Hendricks, what's the down street? La Helena?
Yep.
Yeah. 3 properties in particular. One is an abandoned property. It was tagged as condemned. That's probably been Yeah.
It's condemned and it's
And
nothing.
nothing's been done. The neighbors, just a week ago, went in and mowed because they like to park their cars there. And so that was helpful. You know, you're not sitting in there with a hot exhaust or something on all this grass. But property on an opposite corner, Alta Vista and Rosemont, I think there's squatters in there now.
Wow.
But, I mean, it's just garbage and trash everywhere. They make these minimal efforts to, you know, cut grass and cut shrubs back, and then they just leave the piles. So they're burn piles.
So when you make the report, you're turning it into them, calling them, emailing them, or do they give you a number?
I've just kind of given up. For a period of time, I would just drive over there with my complaint form and the maps and turn them in.
Yeah, here you go.
For a while, and I'll admit, I haven't done anything in the last couple of years because nothing gets done.
That's why.
Yeah.
Because it's changed within the couple. Go ahead.
Oh, so things have changed?
Yes, so within the last couple of years, the online complaints, and they should be, so what happens is they go out, if they have a vegetation complaint, they'll go out and they'll make a tag on them to make sure they do it. It is.
Yeah, but if no one's on the property, it's kind of meaningless. They can post like they did with this one property, but nothing gets done.
They'll also, the owner will get a notice.
Well, the owner on this one property lives in Fort Bragg. We had a neighbor that tried to buy that property about 3 years ago just to clean it up. That was his sole purpose, was to clean it up, clear it out, and he, you know, would have put it up for sale. He talked about maybe bringing a newer modular in or something, and he got no place with the owner. She just refused to sell.
Do you know the addresses?
Yes, I've got them.
So after we're finished, can I sit with you and take them down?
You sure can.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, did I skip? Oh, my goodness, sorry. Well, if there's any more, is there any more public comment? All right, we'll finish public comment, and then we will go back to item number 4.
Greg, did you?
Yeah,
I didn't know if you saw.
yeah.
Hello, my name is Greg Bianchini, and I was just, I was wondering what was happening with the tree on 13th Avenue, with the branches that are falling. More branches or limbs have fell. I mean, right now you can't even walk on the sidewalk. Go look at it. I looked at it just right before I came here. There's a huge branch that fell in the yard and then went on the sidewalk. So that was just recently, like within, I think, about a week. So anyways, I was just wondering, you can clearly see where some of the tree is green and then some of it is dead. So I was just, it's pretty bad. So hopefully somebody's gonna be coming and pruning the tree, at least prune it so nobody gets hurt. That's it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Greg, for your report. That definitely is a difference maker in the matter, I would say, for sure. If it's definitely fallen directly into would that technically be a public easement? As I understand it, it's an agreed upon public easement between the property owner specifically, right? Sorry, I don't want to get on the reeds, but like between that and then the county particularly, because 13th is County Avenue. I think that's how the cutting down of the tree, like the full removal, was paused or at least put onto whoever that the property on which the tree falls on owner's responsibility to particularly call it into the county. But I think what Scott left it as he was last year, was the minute anybody from the actual neighborhood calls it and says the words, "This is dangerous, come evaluate it for yourself," effectively, that would be the day. I mean, not within that day, but then the work order and such would be created such that when they brought a technician out, if that technician says yes, it will be cut down in a short order entirely. But that's not to say either the removal of the burl and the root system, which I believe is starting to counter the sidewalk, but that all is a different matter. The falling of the limb, I agree, urgent, so if you'd like, I think it would be Public Works at this point still, that is the department that would handle that, even though it is a new director coming in as of next month, so it may be a little bit, you know, of a
Well,
system there at play.
They've already come out and looked at the tree a few times in the last couple of months. It's just, I don't know when it's, you said it was paused, that the tree was not going to be trimmed?
I said that the order for the tree to be trimmed, like itself, is, I believe, left ultimately up to the property owner, as Scott
Yes.
told us, unless specifically the tree is, in Scott's eyes, which the director's eyes rather, which would be approved through your public opinion and then also a technician. Yes, this is now causing urgent human harm concern, and then that would be removed, at least cut down. I actually don't know if the wood and all of that.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, well, I just want to let you know that the limbs are falling.
And I also
And
haven't
they're
known that
huge.
they've been out there and
They're
seen it
giant
either,
limbs.
so I'll go check. I'll be driving by there this
Yeah.
evening to see that and take
Okay.
photos for myself.
All right,
Thank
thanks, you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, any more public comment? All right, so, sorry,
We did have someone on Zoom, and they raised their hand, but I think they're, everything's good audio, but I think maybe they're experiencing slow internet speeds in their area.
okay,
She keeps saying,
oh,
it's bug.
okay. Well, if you see them pop up before we're done, then let me know. All right, so my apologies for skipping item number 4, but it's discussion and possible action, including acceptance of an update regarding the Lucerne Alpine Senior Center.
Yes, my name's Charlie Bean. I'm with the Senior Center here, and Austin asked me to give an update where we're at. Some of the activities that we're doing now, we have guitar and ukulele lessons from every Thursday from 12 to 1. Crafts the third Thursday of every month from 10 to 11. NCO they do grandparent training here once a month, and I'm sorry, I don't know which day it is, but they come for lunch and have a training here. They have about 15, 20 people come. Tai Chi on Fridays from 2:30 to 3:30, and then AA meetings on Fridays from 6 to 7. And we would like to have more activities like senior yoga and things like those, but we don't have anybody to instruct, and we're short on volunteers and stuff. So if anybody knows of someone who would do a class like that, we're open for it and would like to see it happen here. And then we've been working with the Red Cross to be a resilience center. For example, for like a heating and a cooling center. And their whole idea of the Red Cross there is to keep people in their own homes. So like when it's declared we need a open to be a cooling center, then we would extend our hours till say like 6 o'clock so that everybody's cooled down and they can go back to their homes. Their whole idea is to keep people so they don't have to leave their homes. At our next board meeting next Monday for the senior center, we're going to discuss what some of the guidelines should be. There are no real guidelines out there now, but we're going to try to come up with something that is, to where, for example, when it hits 100 degrees, we'll be open till 6 o'clock and cooling down, those types of guidelines. And then we have our new ADA ramp in now, and so then another division of the Red Cross, since we have that in place now, they would like to talk to us about being an emergency shelter during emergencies, to where they could come and use our facility if there was an emergency where they had to leave their homes or whatever they had to do, then they would come in and set up cots in here and provide food and all like that stuff. So we'll be working with them on that. So. That's about it. Any questions?
I didn't tell you this because I went to it 2 weeks ago. We met, so I went with the Robinson tribe, but I brought up some county stuff too. So I brought up the Lucerne Alpine Senior Center and remember the switch they were supposed to do? We talked to the vice president or something like that, and they were going to do a switch for the center.
Generator.
Yeah, for the generators.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so there's a new vice president, and I told him we still want that. And Patty Poppy was there, the actual director of PG&E. And so I let him know that this area right here, this place is an ideal place for a resource center. And so we really need help with it. And the way I tied it in is because a lot of our tribal members live in Lucerne. So I was like, but there's a lot of members there that need this service. They come right here. They don't go, where else is there to go? So we need this to be a resource center. They're doing a lot of work here, so any help they can do. And so the vice president said he'd talk to me further, but I want to make sure I can get them here so they can talk to you guys. So that was the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The Red Cross, I didn't bring it up because it hasn't happened yet, but the Red Cross went in and got a permit to to put solar in for us here. And along with the solar will have 72-hour backup batteries to, if it's, say there's fire and there's smoke and the batteries aren't charging, well, our batteries will last for 72 hours. And they're also going to put in a backup generator, so if it's cloudy for a week or whatever, but I hesitated bringing all that up till it's in place, you know. So yeah, and part of the ADA ramp and stuff and things like that too is EJ really helped us out with Robinson. They're going to come in when Anthony gets a chance here and do all the restriping and stuff like that for nothing. So yeah, they've been great, Robinson, working with us here because we kind of help each other.
Well, that's the other thing I mentioned too, is that with PG&E, is that when we had the last, was it the freezing event or the storm that
The
they had?
snow.
Yeah, they brought us some stuff. What was it, like chargers and water and?
Yeah, those chargers, which are great for your cell phones and stuff. There was a package, and we still got a few left in here. There's a blanket in there, a candy bar, some water, and a charger and stuff like that. They wound up bringing a second load to us because we were passing them out here then.
So I told them to keep those coming, and actually if they can give them to us earlier, the better.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right.
Now 6.
Anybody come on, your person come back on for Zoom? Okay, all right. So if there's no other public comment, then we'll move on to announcements. Does anybody have any announcements to make? All right, the only announcement I have is the North Shore Fire Protection District Board meeting will be on Wednesday, June 12th at 2 p.m. So if you have any questions, concerns, you certainly could bring those up during public comment at that meeting. All right. Anybody else? Just remember the Clash Against Trash, Saturday, June 15th, 9 to 1 at the castle.
Tell your neighbors,
Yeah,
post these
spread
where
the
you
word.
can, please. we definitely want to get this available to as many people as possible.
Yeah. Do-
And if you guys want someone next month, let me know. Who we want
Oh,
As a
okay,
guest
yeah,
speaker? Okay.
I had mentioned to you, because I think we discussed wanting to have CHP come with those concerns, and then I would like, because in the past, we'd talked about the docks, and see if whoever, yeah, Water Resources could come, and then, your new Public Works Director probably would have started by then, but I don't know if that'll be too soon.
Water Resources is helping too that Saturday. They'll have an event too, I just haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else they want on next month's agenda? Yes? No? All right, well, if there's nothing else, then we'll adjourn the meeting at 6:38. Thank you, everybody, for coming and participating.